Welcome to Fazza Poetry World, where hearts turn into poetry. There was a time in my life when I believed love was only a beautiful word people spoke when they were lonely. I used to watch the world from a distance and wonder if two souls could truly belong to each other without pretending, without fear, without masks. Then one quiet night, your memory entered my heart like moonlight slipping through an open window. Soft, silent, eternal. And since that moment, my soul has been asking only one question: would it be okay if I loved you forever? Would it be okay if I walked beside you through every season of life, not only during the sunny mornings when everything feels easy, but also during the nights when storms live inside our hearts? Would it be okay if I held your hand slowly, carefully, like something sacred, as if touching your fingers meant touching destiny itself? Because the truth is, when I imagine peace, I imagine your presence. When I imagine home, I imagine your voice. And when I imagine forever, I see your eyes looking back at mine beneath a sky full of stars. Would it be okay if we escaped the noise of the world together, far away from fake smiles, temporary people, and hearts that only know how to leave? Would it be okay if it became just you and me, walking through silent roads while the wind carries our laughter into the night? I would tell you stories nobody else knows. The hidden parts of me. The fears I hide behind my smile. The loneliness I carry quietly. The nights I stayed awake wondering if someone would ever truly understand me. And maybe, just maybe, you would place your hand over mine and whisper, "You don't have to carry it alone anymore." Would it be okay if I loved even your broken pieces, not only the beautiful parts everyone sees, but also the scars you try so hard to hide? Because love, real love, is not about perfection. It is about staying. It is about choosing someone again and again, even when life becomes difficult. I want to know every version of you. The happy you. The quiet you. The tired you. The emotional you. The overthinking you at 2 a.m. The version of you that feels too much and says too little. Would it be okay if I sat beside you during your darkest nights and reminded you that your soul is still beautiful even when sadness visits your heart? Because I would never run from your pain. I would hold it gently. I would sit beside it. I would love you through it. Would it be okay if we laughed until our stomachs hurt over the smallest things? Burning breakfast together. Dancing badly in the kitchen. Arguing over which movie to watch. Taking long drives with music playing softly while your head rests against the window and my heart silently thanks God for your existence. Would it be okay if ordinary moments became our greatest memories? Because honestly, I do not need a perfect life. I only need moments that feel real with you. Would it be okay if I wrote poems about your soul, not because you asked me to, but because loving you would leave poetry everywhere inside me? I would write about the way your eyes soften when you are truly happy. The way your voice calms my restless mind. The way your silence sometimes says more than words ever could. I would write about how your existence changed something inside me forever. How meeting you felt like finding water after years of wandering through emotional deserts. Would it be okay if I admitted that you became my favorite thought, the first thing my heart searches for every morning, and the last thing my soul whispers before sleep. Sometimes I imagine us years from now. Older. Softer. Still deeply in love. Your hair touched gently by time. My hands still reaching for yours without thinking. Two souls sitting quietly on a porch while the sunset paints the sky gold and orange. No need for grand speeches. No need for perfect moments. Just us. Still together after everything life tried to throw at us. Would it be okay if we grew old like that, still teasing each other? Still protecting each other? Still falling in love in small ways every single day? Would it be okay if I became your safest place, the person you call when life becomes too heavy? The voice that reminds you to breathe when anxiety clouds your heart? The arms you run to when the world feels cruel? Because I swear, if you ever cried in front of me, I would never see weakness. I would see trust. And trust is one of the most beautiful gifts a soul can offer another soul. Would it be okay if I told you that sometimes your imagined presence already comforts me even before you say anything? Even before you hold my hand? Just the thought of you feels warm. Like sunlight touching cold skin after a long winter. Would it be okay if we traveled the world together someday, not to escape life, but to experience it side by side? Walking barefoot on quiet beaches while the waves kiss the shore. Watching city lights from rooftops at midnight. Getting lost in unfamiliar streets and laughing because none of it matters as long as we are together. Would it be okay if every place became more beautiful simply because you were there with me, because love changes everything? Even ordinary sunsets begin to feel magical when shared with the right person. Would it be okay if I protected your heart carefully, not like people who promise forever and disappear when things become difficult? I want a love that stays. A love that fights. A love that survives misunderstandings, distance, bad days, and silent nights. I want the kind of love that says, we will figure this out together. Not, I'm leaving. Would it be okay if I learned your sadness the same way I learn your smile, if I memorized the things that hurt you so I could protect your heart from them whenever possible? I would notice the tiny changes in your voice, the hidden pain behind your eyes, the moments when you say I'm okay but your soul quietly begs for comfort. And I would stay. Always stay. Would it be okay if we created our own little world, a world filled with honesty, softness, and late-night conversations? A world where we never have to pretend to be stronger than we are. You could tell me your fears. I could tell you mine. And instead of judging each other, we would simply hold hands tighter. Would it be okay if we healed together, because I think love is not only about romance. I think love is also about helping each other become whole again after life breaks pieces of us apart. Would it be okay if I kissed your forehead after difficult days, if I reminded you that your existence matters more than you realize, if I loved you patiently during moments when you struggle to love yourself? Because there will be days when life feels unfair. Days when the world seems too loud. Days when your heart feels exhausted from pretending to be okay. And on those days, I want to be the reason you feel safe enough to rest. Would it be okay if I chose you repeatedly, even after arguments? Even after misunderstandings, even after life tests our patience? Because love is not proven during easy moments. love is proven when staying becomes difficult, and you still stay anyway. Would it be okay if I confessed something vulnerable? Sometimes I fear losing people. Sometimes I fear caring too deeply. Sometimes my heart trembles at the thought of giving someone the power to hurt me. But somehow, loving you feels worth the risk. Would it be okay if I trusted you with the parts of me nobody else sees, the child inside me who still longs to be understood? The tired soul inside me who only wants peace? The hopeless romantic inside me who still believes in forever despite everything? Because with you, forever no longer feels impossible. Would it be okay if we watched rainstorms together from the window while drinking coffee and talking about life? Would it be okay if your laughter became my favorite sound? Would it be okay if your happiness slowly became part of my own happiness too? Because when you truly love someone, their smile begins to heal something inside you. Would it be okay if we danced slowly in the living room at midnight with no audience except the moon? No expensive clothes, no perfect choreography. Just two souls moving gently to the rhythm of love. Would it be okay if I called moments like that heaven? Would it be okay if we failed sometimes, if we said the wrong things occasionally, if we made mistakes while trying to love each other correctly? Because we are human. And humans are imperfect. But I promise this, I would never stop trying for us. Would it be okay if I learned your dreams and protected them like treasures? If I encouraged you when self-doubt whispers lies into your mind? If I became the voice reminding you that you are capable of beautiful things? I want to celebrate your victories like they are my own. I want to hold you during your losses like your pain belongs to me too. Would it be okay if our love became a quiet kind of forever, not loud, not fake, not performative, just real, steady, deep, unshakable? Would it be okay if I loved you in all the tiny ways people often forget? Sending you messages when I know your day is hard, remembering your favorite songs, saving the last bite for you, listening carefully when you speak about things you love. Because sometimes the purest love hides inside the smallest gestures. Would it be okay if I looked at you someday and realized, after all the heartbreaks, disappointments, and lonely nights, you were the reason my soul never gave up on love? Would it be okay if I thanked God for you quietly, not because you are perfect, but because your soul feels sincere in a world full of temporary intentions? Would it be okay if I loved you beyond words, beyond distance, beyond fear, beyond time itself? Because if destiny ever allows our hearts to truly meet, I promise I would spend every day protecting what we built together. And if one day our hair turns gray, if our hands become wrinkled, if life slows us down and the world changes around us, I would still look at you the same way. Like my favorite miracle. Like the answer to prayers I once cried silently into the night. Would it be okay if I spent the rest of my life proving that love can still be gentle? Would it be okay if I whispered I choose you not only today, but every day after this? Because in a world where people leave so easily, I want to become the kind of love that stays. So tell me, my dear, would it be okay if my heart made a home inside yours forever?